Howdy y'all, Kevin here. Last night was it, the final episode of Extracted. I'd like to say I'm sad, but I'm not. It was really kind of an uneventful episode, to tell you the truth. They started out with 4 remaining, and they basically had a challenge. And it was an elimination challenge for the first half, and then a race for the second half. At the end of the previous episode, they left all the headquarters folks finding Morse code books and maps and things like that left in the headquarters for them to peruse. And those played fairly heavily in this last episode. And also at the end of the previous episode, they had the medics talking to Haley's support team, her family, and basically saying, hey, her heart rate's up, she's in the red, we don't know, we're going to have to monitor this, da, 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 da. It's up to you if you want to extract her, but you know. And one of her support team is a nurse, I think, is what she said. And she said, we'll just keep an eye on it and see what it does. And they did that, and Haley woke up the next morning, okay, back in the yellow again. So it's a good thing they didn't extract her. Trimmed off some of my beard, and I don't think it's even. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Just so you know. Basically, they had the announcement where, okay, families and survivalists, they announced it to the headquarters and via the cameras and speakers out at the survivalists, that by the end of the day, one of you is going to win $250,000. Da, 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 da. So everybody's happy. They know it's the last day, even though they had just had to tear down their camps and move camps, and only had to spend the whatever the night was with a limited number of items. A few more than they started out with, but still just a limited number of things. So, most of them were happy that it was going to be over. Then they did the survival trial thing where they took all the families back to the supply room, and this is how it worked. They had an ammo can back there and a satellite phone that they put in the ammo can, and then they had locks that they had to make a 5-letter word or code that would open these locks. And so everybody picked something and put the things in the box and locked the boxes up, and then they dropped these boxes off out in the woods for them. And that was how they were going to basically begin their survival trial. Well, it's not how they began. It was the first step of their survival trial. So they all met at the start line, and then basically it was they left them a box with a raft and an inflation bag and a inflation tube, and basically it was a race. Whoever got their raft inflated first and got across the lake to their ammo can got to start working on the code. So it was pretty neck and neck for the whole thing. I think Woody was in the water first, and then Jake, and then Haley, who, truth be told, she probably had an advantage on this particular portion because she's a Whitewater River guide, supposedly. But a little snafu happened to her. Her inflation bag got a hole in it, broke. So she ended up having to complete the inflation of her raft with the blow tube, which cost her a little time, which meant she was third in the water, and then Megan was last in the water. And Haley and Megan actually were hauling butt when they were going across there. They were actually closing the distance, but Woody and Jake got to the opposite shore of the lake. I think they said it was 1.2 mile paddle. And so Woody and Jake got there, and they're working on their boxes. Haley comes up, and she's working on her box. But Megan comes up, she's working on her little ammo can box to get the code. And they're trying to figure out what the code is. And Haley was the first one to figure it out. They used her nickname. They couldn't use their names. They couldn't use the survivalist names as the code. But they used her nickname, which I guess is fine. So she got her box open first and got the satellite phone out, which meant she got to move on to part 2 of the trial. And then Jake finally got his open. So this eliminated the other 2 who hadn't opened their ammo cans yet. So they extracted them. And in the meantime, Haley's talking on the satellite phone to her support team, and they've got a map, and they're guiding her to where she's supposed to go. And basically, it's just a race. They had to get downriver from the lake to. They left them a sign in the woods that was written in Morse code. So the survivalists had to read what was written on the sign in Morse code, and the folks back at headquarters had to decipher that to determine which way to go next. And Haley got it done. Jake got there just as she was leaving, really. The way they filmed it. I don't know how close it really was. But he got his message deciphered, and deciphered correctly. The way it was is there were two boxes in the woods, two of these final supply crates. One didn't have anything in it, the other one had the money in it. Actual cash when they opened the box. But anyhow, basically it's a race. They're dogging down upstream this river and trying to get to the box and doing all that kind of thing. And Haley made it there first. Haley won. I said she was the dark horse of the competition many times. And so she ended up winning with Jake. Jake was within sight of her when she got there and got to the box and opened it up. And behold, $250,000 in cash. We assume. It was a box full of cash. We assume it's the whole $250,000. But they extracted Jake, and then they took Haley out hanging off the rope on the helicopter with her money, and took her back to the headquarters. And that was basically the whole episode. It was a elimination trial and a race through the woods. And Haley ended up winning. Woody got eliminated. I was rooting for Woody because he's the old guy, like me. Jake really smoothed it for the whole thing. He wasn't really roughing the whole thing. He was smoothing it. We say smoothing it at the Pathfinder School a lot. It came down to Haley got her box open first, then got to talk on the satellite phone and got to start receiving directions from headquarters. And that was it. So Haley wins. Yay! I'm assuming there's going to be a season 2. I don't know. I didn't look at the ratings and all those kind of things, so I assume there's going to be a season 2. I may or may not watch. I don't know. But anyhow, I wanted to show you guys a couple of things because, as you know, Self-Reliance Outfitters Pathfinder School provided gear that was available in the supply room to send out to the contestants, the survivalists. And we didn't actually see a lot of the gear that was sent. What we saw mostly was that 39-ounce canteen bottle. We saw the canteens. They didn't give them the cups and the lids. We didn't get to see any of those, so I'm assuming they didn't give them to them. The only time I saw them go in a supply crate was just the canteen. These are all stainless steel, so they could have done a lot more with these than they did. They could have been cooking in these. They could have been making stew, or not stew. They could have been making broth and things like that, and cooking wild edibles and doing all those kind of things. But they didn't know how. That was it. So we saw that a lot. We saw the M34. It's the style of a military officer's flask, and this is, if I remember, it is 29 ounces, 28 ounces. I don't remember anyway. We saw these a lot, and here's a tidbit. These come with a black nylon strap to keep them closed and all those kind of things. I have several of these. One of them is in a leather carrying case. If you see that, it's probably not water. The one in the nylon carrying case, that's probably water. And I also saw some bush pots. And this is the 1 quart bush pot. And I never noticed one of these myself, but I was told that they had them. So this is, like I said, this is the 1 quart bush pot. This is also good for cooking and boiling water and doing all those kind of things that they could have been doing on a regular basis. And I don't know that they weren't, because like I said, it was 10 episodes long with 1 2-hour episode, which oddly enough was not the finale. But so basically, we saw less than 11 hours of the entire time they were out there, And they didn't actually say at the end how many days they had been out and all those kind of things. Somebody told me that they heard one of the contestants or one of the survivalists say 41. But I didn't hear that myself. I heard somebody talking about days. But to be honest, I wasn't paying attention to that particular moment in time. And that's what they could have been doing. We'll talk about these later in a different video. So, with that being said, Extracted, episode 10, closed out season 1. And the winner was Haley, the Whitewater Rafting Guide. She was upbeat to the end. Like I said, she had some rough times going on where she said she was sore from sleeping on the ground and wasn't getting enough food and all those other kind of things. But she still had enough strength and enough mental well-being to be doing yoga and things in the morning. So, I said it several times. If you go back and look at my other reviews on the Extracted episodes, I said many times that I think Haley is going to be the dark horse in this competition, and she was. So, with that being said, talk to you later. Hope to see y'all in the woods, and hope to see you at the Pathfinder School for classes. Lots of classes. We have survival classes. Would have helped to survival us out a lot if they had attended classes. It probably would have helped the support staff too. They would have been better equipped to send the right things at the right time. So, talk to y'all later. Hope to see you in the woods.